Okay, Hare Krishna. Let's just start with Kirtan. Anybody would like to do it? Do the honor today?
If no one else is going, I can.
Okay. Okay, Mataji.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine
Nama
Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini.
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini
Namaste.
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarini.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Haribol. Thank you, Shamila Mataji. Haribol to everyone.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. So, okay, all full house today. Rasili Mataji is missing. Okay, so let's move on to our class today. Last session, chapter 18, level 2, part 2. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Srimati Namine Om Tat Sat Jai Srila Prabhupada
Gita.
Jai. Understanding of Gita. Who wants to go first to read for today?
Me, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji.
Understanding of Gita, we work not with our body actually, but with our mind and intelligence. So, hello, can you hear me, Mataji?
Yes, I can hear you. Carry on, Mataji.
Sorry. Understanding of Gita, we not work with our body actually, but with our mind and intelligence. So if the intelligence and the mind are always engaged in the thought of Supreme Lord, then naturally the senses are also engaged in His service. Superficially, at least the activities of the senses remain the same, but the consciousness is changed. The Bhagavad Gita teaches on how to observe the mind and intelligence in the thought of Lord. Such observation will enable one to transfer himself to kingdom of Lord. If the mind is engaged in Krishna's service, then the senses are automatically engaged in his service. This is art, and this is also a secret of Bhagavad Gita.
Very good. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so here the Bhagavad Gita is showing the way how even though we are going about it, our daily job, chores, work and everything. However, along your journey, right? Do y'all remember when y'all started your level 1? Who remembers? Was it June last year? Who remembers when you started your level 1 with me? This is level 2. So when was your level 1? Lupa ka? Sharmila Mataji, when was the level 1?
Last year, Mataji, but I don't remember.
Yeah, it's definitely last year. Is it June? Because our first batch was February. Then I didn't take the second batch. I took the third batch.
Either May or June, I think.
May or June. Okay. So from June last year, now we entered April. Okay. All right. And consider March. So how your consciousness have changed from before this, you were going to work, if you're going to work, if you're going to, college or university, how you've been studying, how your consciousness have changed. You are still studying, you will still be probably studying, you still be probably working. All right. But along the way, you would have probably changed your consciousness in such a way that you are working, but at the same time, your mind is absorbed in thinking of Krishna. Or probably you have started contributing some amount of your earning to Krishna conscious activities. So this is where you would have found some changes would have happened to you. All right. Superficially, your activities remain the same, but the consciousness is changed. Okay, so try to reflect and see if that has happened in your life, or moving forward, you can make some changes on that as well. I'm sure it has changed, right? Because when you work, you'll be thinking, okay, I'm doing this as a sacrifice for you, Krishna. I'm doing this as an offering for you, Krishna. Very simple. Just change the consciousness. Just tweak that consciousness. That's all. Instead of, I want to enjoy the fruit of my activities. So instead of that, just tweak that mind. All right. So in that way, the reaction from your work will not affect you. So today's class is about that. How, when we are performing our occupational duties, where there are reactions, how is it going to affect us, and what should we do so that it doesn't affect us? Okay, so Bhagavad Gita is all about absorbing the mind and intelligence in the thought of the Lord. So from chapter 1 to chapter 18, part 1, Krishna has described so many ways we can think of him. Okay, because if the mind is always engaged in Krishna's service, at least the mind, not even your hands and legs, right? At least the mind, then the senses will fall in place. It will automatically engage in that service. So this is the art. Also, this is the secret. The total absorption in thought of Sri Krishna. You don't have to go to the cave, to the mountain, to the forest, sit erected on a kusa grass, on a deer skin, okay, with the erected body and breathing with your nostrils and keeping the focus in the center of your mind, attaining samadhi. Okay, we don't have to do all that because we are not in Satya Yuga. We are in Kali Yuga, and there's a lot of distraction in Kali Yuga, of course, and we are not also living that long compared to people who lived in Satya Yuga, where they can perfect their life by doing dhyana. Okay, right? So we can do samadhi while we are in the office. Samadhi does not mean, breathing your last or dying. So it's not that. Samadhi means basically total absorption in Krishna. So we can do that. We can do that in front of the laptop. We can do that in front when you're teaching. So everything will be absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna. So that's about it. Okay. All right. So we are in part 2. Okay. So part 1, last week, we have covered some things which I want to ask now. What did we cover earlier in last week? Arjuna asked about 2 things. What is the difference between this and this, Krishna? Like that he asked. Who remembers that? Did you all go through the PDF before the class? What Arjuna asked last week to Krishna? Anyone? Maybe you can open your Bhagavad Gita and get some idea. Matajis, come on, speak. Last class. Why am I? Anybody? What could Arjuna asked last week?
Sannyas and difference between sannyas and tyaga.
Yes, he asked what's the difference between sannyasa and tyaga. All right, so what was the difference between sannyasa and tyaga? Sannyasa means what? Giving up what?
The giving up of activities.
Yes, sannyasa means giving up activities. Tyaga means?
Giving up the results.
Action. Yeah,
Correct. The results of your actions. Sannyasa, giving up actions. Tyaga, giving up the results of the action. Okay. All right, so because I can't see your video, right? I don't know whether you are on the other side. So I just want to make sure that you are in the class, okay? And then we went to Jnana section, and then we went to speak about the modes. What are the elements that we discussed on different modes? Who remembers? What elements we covered can be under 3 modes? The food, charity, austerity, all previously. Okay, last week, what did we do?
Knowledge and happiness, Mataji.
Knowledge and happiness. Very nice. Okay, yes. So last week we covered up to verse 39. So today we will cover from text 48 up till the end. All right, of course, not all the slokas, only the selected ones. Okay, so here Krishna will talk about the job, what I mentioned earlier, how to be free from our occupational, from reaction of our occupational work. And Krishna will talk about some confidential knowledge. And finally, he speaks about the glory of Bhagavad Gita and the glory of people who share the knowledge about Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so this part here, right, it will be a little technical, so I would like you to be attentive. All right. All right, so can I just ask a question? If you like to share, if you have any concerns about your daily job. Okay, for example, I'm working in bank, and you know, bank give financing to lots of activities. Like I used to previously directly recommend loans for businesses involved in poultry business, you know, egg, duck, chicken, all that. You know, I used to do that. It was long ago, 2004 up to 6 or 8. Okay, so these are the concerns that I had. Oh my God, I was already a vegetarian at that time. I was already chanting. I was, you know, almost want to take initiation already. And I was like feeling guilty. Why am I doing this work? I am vegetarian, but I'm recommending a loan where the killing of farm animals are involved, right? Okay, so I had this concern. So do any of you have this kind of concern in your job? Would you like to share anything at all? So if
Mataji,
yes, Mataji.
meaning any daily routine which is bothering our spiritual practice, is it?
Correct. Yeah, that it does not align with your spiritual goal. Yes. Do you have anything like that?
Okay, let me think, Mataji.
Yeah. Okay. So even recently, I had a conversation with my Guru Maharaj. So does that mean my work, my activity is stained, or my earning is stained? Of course, I know already that this kind of activities you cannot be you cannot avoid it. All right. So obviously Guru Maharaj also replied that it is very difficult, it's very impossible in this age to get a job without these horrible is it my computer? Is everything okay? Can you all hear me?
I heard that sound.
Okay, but I'm audible, right?
Yeah. Yes, Mataji. Is it the chat sound? Lata Mataji sent some chat messages.
I think my thumb drive has loosened already. That's why it stopped. Okay, hold on. Share again. Okay, let me try that again. Okay, is that okay now? Okay, hold on. Okay,
Yes,
Rasa
Mataji.
shared something. I have like back-to-back work that delays my spiritual practices, or family members who don't really understand my commitment in my path. Okay, understand. Okay, right. So Guru Maharaj said this, that it's impossible in this age to get something that is free from all these horrible conditions. So the best thing is that consciousness has to be engaged in Krishna, and the earning that we get, we have to contribute some for the service of Krishna conscious activities, service of Krishna or Krishna conscious activities. Okay, so this is how we can minimize the reactions from our work. Okay, but we totally cannot avoid these things. Okay, that's because we have to survive, we have to work, we have to feed the family and everything. Okay, so done. All right, so this is talking about freedom from reaction by occupational work. So we will see that later, right? So last week we stopped here, happiness in 3 modes. We stopped at verse 39. Okay, so I'm going to continue from there. I'm not going to recap on this. Okay, I hope you will read this. It's very, very important. If you're feeling happy, so you have to analyze where are you falling. You're falling on goodness, passion, or ignorance. So it's very good to keep reflecting on this. It has to be a daily thing that we need to do. Okay, this is not like after level 1 finish, level 2 finish, and then okay, I got the Gita knowledge. No, Gita knowledge is something to practice. It's a way of life. All right. Okay, so from 39, we will jump into text 42. So in between, I want to give these two verses. There is no being existing either. Yes, Mataji. There is no being existing here or among the demigods in the higher planetary systems, which is freed from these three modes born of material nature. So all these three modes, right? Okay. Either here, what does it mean by either here? Either here, where are we now?
In this world,
Yes, this is, what world is this?
material world.
Earth, okay, earth in the material world, all right? Either here on the earth or among the demigods in the higher planetary system. So this here, earth, and this here, and this higher planetary system, all are falling under material world, okay? And whoever lives inside this material world, they are not freed from the three modes born of material nature. They are still in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Okay, so that's a fact. And then we are moving on to the Varna system. Okay, Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Sudras. Remember the pyramid, right? Brahmana at the top, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra. So these are the four classes of people based on their occupational duties, occupation. And their occupation is based on the modes that they have. Okay, this is not based on birth. Okay, this is not a birth class. This is a guna class, character, modes. Okay, so people in the mode, in the Brahmanas, people who are Brahmanas or engaged in Brahminical occupational duties, they are predominantly in the mode of, anybody would like to guess what mode?
Goodness.
Yes, goodness. And then people who has Kshatriya characteristic, they are in the mode of
Passion.
passion. How about Vaishya?
Vaishya also passion.
Okay, passion mixed with ignorance. Okay, and
Ignorant.
Sudras?
Ignorant.
Okay, yes. And they are distinguished by qualities born of their own natures in accordance with their material modes. Okay, so this is what I was explaining. Okay, so now Krishna is going to explain purification through prescribed duties of Varna Asrama. So most of us are, I'm in banking line. Where are you all engaged in? What kind of job? Jai Mataji, IT, right?
Me, IT as well.
Karmila Mataji, IT. Jai Mataji. Is it correct? IT? Kala Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, IT in banking line now.
IT in banking. Okay. Kala Mataji, what's the nature of your job?
I'm not working, Mataji, housewife.
Okay, you're doing okay. All right. Lata Mataji, are you studying or working?
Working and also writing. I'm a journalist.
Okay, you are writing. Okay,
Yeah.
that's commercial also. Okay. Rasini Mataji,
I'm intern Mataji in education.
education. You are teaching, so you're more into Brahminical qualities. Can you see that? So you are into knowledge, you are teaching. So this is what Brahminical people will do. This is the Brahminical nature of activities. Okay. Roja Mataji.
I'm teaching also, Mataji.
Okay, we have another Brahminical quality Mataji here. So
But
this
my
is,
students are not Brahmanical.
that's okay. So it's not about you already decide whether they are Brahminical or not. It's about your teaching. So most of your job, like my teaching is not my daily bread thing. It's my teaching is just weekend in the evening. So basically I'm a banker, so I fall under Vaishya. So we have some Brahmanas here. Okay, so Brahmanas, as you can see here from the example that I give you, it's not by birth. Just because you are born to a teacher, it does not make you a teacher. Just because my children born to a banker, that does not make them a banker. So it's about how you see the nature is. If they are into arts, you want to put them into arts. If they are into some technicality, you want to put them in some technical things. This is how we dovetail them in the job that is suitable for their nature. So you can exactly apply that that this is the one. So the class that generally the Indians have now, it's not what was created in the Vedic system those days. This caste system is something pretty recent and has got nothing to do with Lord Vishnu. Okay, so many people misunderstand that Lord Vishnu has created this, oh, Brahmanas are first class, second is Vaishya. So it's not that. These are based on their natural qualities dovetailed in the job that they can suit in, they can fit in. Okay, so we have to have this understanding. Okay, so now we are going to see what are the qualities of people under the Brahmanas class. But having said that, there is no such thing as the Brahmanas are higher class than Kshatriya, Kshatriya higher class than Sutra. There's no such thing. Everybody exists, everybody coexists, everybody is important. Okay, nobody can live without a head. All right, so they can't say the head is bigger, better than the hand. No, it's not like that. All right, so let's have somebody to read this. Let's have one person to read the qualities of Brahmanas, the natural quality that appears in a person who can be called as a Brahmana.
Yeah, I read Mataji.
Okay, Mataji.
Brahmanas, the natural qualities under this mode: peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and religiousness.
They are mostly in the mode of
Goodness.
very good. Thank you, Mataji. Next, Kshatriyas. Who would like to read? Come, Mataji, we have a lot to go.
Okay, I'll read Mataji.
Okay.
Satyas, natural qualities under the modes of heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in battle, generosity, and leadership. It's under mode of passion.
Okay, so can you see that point, the word courage in battle? It means not fleeing the scene. So Krishna indirectly telling Arjuna, this is not your quality, because earlier Arjuna wanted to leave the battlefield, right? So Krishna is saying courage in battle, which means not fleeing. And then Krishna stressed on this leadership. So let me stress on this word, leadership. Leadership means controlling others. So Arjuna should practice his discretion to kill the people who are unjustful to the family. So this is also a good leadership quality, which is generally seen people with Kshatriya mode, all right, mode of passion. Also, you need more of passion to do this. You can't be in mode of goodness and go and kill. Cannot, right? So it doesn't really, fit in, doesn't really jive. Okay. So Vaishyas, somebody please read.
Mataji,
Yes.
Vaishyas, natural qualities under the mode, farming, cow protection, and business, and they fall under mode of passion and ignorance.
Okay, so they are naturally they carry out farming, cow protection, and business nature work. Okay, and they are fall in the mixture of mode of passion and ignorance. Okay, finally, Sudra, somebody.
I'll go.
Okay,
So sutras, labor and service to others, they fall under mode of ignorance.
very good. So Sudras, right? They are they provide labor and services to the other classes. Okay, it's like cleaners and generally laborers. All right, so that's what they do. Okay. All right. So from 44 to 47, there is a jump. So I'm giving the missing verses here. By following his qualities of work, every man can become perfect. Okay, so understand Brahmana is not necessarily higher than Vaishyas or Satriya is higher than Sudra, no such thing. But if you are a Vaishya, then stay in the Vaishya class and do the activity that is in line with your qualities, which means the mode that is predominant in us. All right, because we can attain perfection in that work by performing that work. All right, so now Krishna said, now please hear from me how this can be done. Okay, so Krishna says, by worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings and who is all pervading, a man can attain perfection through performing his own work. Whatever job that we do, if we engage in worshiping of the Lord, then we can attain perfection. So which means, okay, it means that the worship consists like you can do work, all right, and your work should consist the mood that or mentality that we are offering the work in the mind. We are telling it in the mind, we are keeping it, we are aware in the mind that we think that by this work may the Lord be satisfied. So this is a saying that we want to etch it inside our mind by thinking that when we are doing work, we want to think that by this work, may the Lord be satisfied. May this work, may the Lord be satisfied. So you will perform your job naturally as usual, but your consciousness is always offering the result of your work to the Lord. All right. Okay. So if we think that the duties of the Satriyas and others are composed of the lower gunas, which means Satriya is passion, right? Brahmana is goodness, Satriya is lower, right? So should one perform the duties of Brahmanas in Sattva guna? If you know you are in a Satriya mode or Vaishya mode, okay, let's say most of us are in the Vaishya mode. Okay, actually all of us are in Sudra mode. That's a big topic, but let's say take it as from the surface level. Let's say most of us are in the Vaishya mode, and then we feel like, oh, Brahmanas, they are actually viewed pretty high because they're mode of goodness. So should we let go our Vaishya job and take up the Brahmanical job because it seems better than the rest? Should we do that? What do you think? Okay, why, Mataji? Why do you
Because
think
we should be doing our prescribed duties.
Okay, so very good. That is why Krishna answered here. Sharmila Mataji, can you read for us, please?
Okay, can. So it is better to engage in one's own occupation, even though one may perform it imperfectly, than to accept another's occupation and perform it perfectly. Duties prescribed according to one's nature are never affected by sinful reactions.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. So I cannot go and tell anyone, my boss, I am very spiritual. I don't want to kill animals, or I don't want to be a cause for giving loans to killing animals. Therefore, I want to go be a teacher. No, okay. So probably I don't have so much of patience teaching children. I wouldn't know. Of course, I've taught children. Okay, it's a crude example. Okay, so you can't do that. Let's say you are a police. Oh, I don't want to go around shooting people who are doing crime. I want to go be a teacher. But a person who has taken a policeman job has taken it for some reason. All right, he cannot go to the school and teach children. Probably the nature will not fit in there. Like I have a friend, I asked her, can you come and teach? No, I'm very passionate. I cannot come and teach. So she says she has no patience. So we are aware what kind of nature that we have, and we act accordingly. So we stay there no matter what, whether it's imperfect or your work is giving some kind of reactions, or the work involves some activity that is not in line with your spiritual inclination or goals, you go on doing with this consciousness. May by this work the Lord is satisfied, or you surrender some of the result of your work to Krishna. So in that way our existence is purified. Okay, so of course if you're directly working in a slaughtering factory or a butchering shop, then you need to relinquish that job and find something better. So we cannot go on staying there and say, no, I'm going to offer this result to Krishna. So you can't go on like that. So the case that I'm saying is where you have elements of things that are not in line or jive with our spiritual goal. So right, that one we cannot avoid. So we go on doing our work. Macam biasa. Okay. All right, so how do we do this? Dutifully detached work. Okay, so can we have somebody to read this for us? I don't know why the photo is missing. Okay, can we have somebody to read this?
Okay, Mataji, I can read.
Okay.
Every endeavor is covered by some fault, just as fire is covered by smoke. Therefore, one should not give up the work born of his nature. O son of Kunti, even if such work is full of fault.
Okay, yes, thank you, Mataji. So every mode has contaminations. The fact that we are conditioned in this conditioned life, all work is contaminated by the material modes of nature. Okay, so there is no freedom of this. Okay, but Bhagavad Gita is teaching about how to go around it, How do we save ourselves? Because every endeavor is covered by some fault. No matter how, you always say the fire is very pure, all right? But even though it is covered by smoke, the fire is fire. It does have heat, it does have light, all right? So we cannot put off the fire just because, oh, this black smoke is, making, covering the fire. No, we don't do that. So as such, our work is also may have lots of flaws and reactions, but we go on doing. For example, a Brahmana, those days, they have to perform yagyas, and they will sacrifice animals like horses, like sick horses or sick cows. All right, and sometimes they perform the yagyas to test the mantra, the purity of their mantra. So what happens that the sick or old cow or horse, they will sacrifice in the yagya, and the horse or a cow or any animal, it will be rejuvenated, it will be given a new life. All right, so during the yagya, the animal sacrifice is necessary. All right, so it may seem like a flaw there, but that is necessary for them to do. Okay, so animal killing is necessary in Brahminical work. All right, and then look at Satriya. So look at Arjuna's case. He is going to fight in the war. Naturally, he will be killing people. People will die. All right. And this thing is necessary. It may look like a flaw, but it is required because it is the natural effect of that work, natural result of performing that work. So he cannot avoid it. All right. So if I'm doing work in bank, I cannot go and tell my boss, I'm vegetarian, I cannot do this. Okay, we can't do that. All right. But even there's one time I had a cow, it's like beef slaughtering business loan. So that one, I told my boss, can you give it to somebody else? Somebody, I don't want to do this. So yeah, there was no problem. So I transferred that out. Okay, so that was possible. So it's really Krishna's mercy. But otherwise, we cannot be very fussy, isn't it? All right. And that is the example for Vaishyas. A merchant, sometimes he has to hide his profit, or he has to carry out his activities in a black market. So these things for them is necessary. They cannot avoid it. Okay, so it is necessary. Not we are not sidelining the fact that it is not an ethical thing. I mean, it's an ethical thing. All right, it is not ethical, but sometimes to survive, they do this. Okay, so in such cases, what do you do? All right, so that is about going around it. Okay, and similarly, a person who is a Sudra, he is probably serving a bad master. Okay, he has to carry out the order of the master, otherwise he will not get paid. Okay, so these are the example of the flaws that can happen in our work while we're performing work. Okay, so it is mentioned that despite these flaws, we should continue to carry out our prescribed duties because they are born out of our own nature. Okay, fire is pure, but still there will be smoke. Okay, and the smoke will not make the fire impure. Okay, so and remember, the fire, no matter what, it is always the purest of all elements. Okay, so rather one should be determined to serve the Lord by his occupational duty in Krishna consciousness. So if you do not worship Krishna, then these reactions may affect you. Okay, but if you perform your job and then your mind and the result is surrendered to Krishna, that is a perfectional point. All right, we definitely cannot renounce our activities and go elsewhere and meditate. Definitely no, renunciation is not for us, but we can surrender the result. That one we can. We cannot renounce our activities, but we can renounce our fruits. Okay, that we can do. So we should not give up. Okay, we should not give up. Krishna never say, okay, Arjuna, give up your job and go and just sit somewhere and meditate on me. Krishna never said that. Okay, so by doing this reaction-free work, so we have this knowledge now, okay, from Gita Gyan, we already got this knowledge, and we are going to consciously perform our work so that we perform a work which is reaction-free. Okay, so the perfection of the Jnana Yoga is to understand the nature of the self. In chapter 2, we learn about what is soul, what is body, what is the difference. Body is slain and soul is not slain. So when we understand this knowledge, it will bring us to the Brahman platform. Okay, understanding the self. Okay, if you understand what is the spirit soul, naturally the next step is you will understand what is the relationship between the spirit soul and the super soul. Okay, so how to attain Brahman platform? What the first thing that we can give up? We have to give up the doer mentality, thinking that I am the doer, I'm the controller, I did this, it happened because of me. So this one we have to give up. The next is give up the attachment to the results of our work. Okay, remember, you cannot give up the work, but you can give up the result of the work. And as you go on perfecting your sadhana, over time, a yogi will give up his work completely. A true yogi. Okay, we are talking about true yogi here. He will do this. He will continuously doing this. Finally, he will give up all his work completely. Okay, when he give up all the work and come to a stage where he realized the self, the Brahman realization, that is his highest knowledge, jnana. And this will bring him to pure bhakti. So this is if you want to go step by step. Okay, step by step. But we can go from here to here also. That one we have done also, right? In chapter 6. Okay, confidential knowledge. I don't know why all the photos are gone. Okay, something happened earlier, I think. All right, so can we have somebody to read this? Verse 51 to 53.
I'll go, Mataji.
Okay.
Being purified by his intelligence and controlling the mind with determination, giving up the objects of sense gratification, being freed from attachment and hatred, one who lives in a secluded place, who eats little, who controls his body, mind, and power of speech, who is always in trance and who is detached, free from false ego, false strength, false pride, lust, anger, and acceptance of material things, free from false proprietorship, and peaceful. Such a person is certainly elevated to the position of self-realization. Can't hear.
I can hear Mataji. Carry on.
Okay, I saw someone. Done, Mataji.
Okay, right. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so here to attain Krishna, we need pure bhakti. To attain pure bhakti, we need to become pure soul. Whatever we are doing right now, right, is bhakti in practice. We are practicing the bhakti. So when we go to spiritual world, then we can perform pure bhakti. Or in this life itself, we are practicing bhakti in order to attain pure bhakti, because for Krishna we only can it is said that we are to give the pure bhakti to Krishna. So our bhakti right now is contaminated, mixed, but it is still bhakti in practice. So when now perfect our practice, then the bhakti will become pure, and then we can find our connection to Krishna back. Remember, the soul is covered by the 3 other elements. What are those? Question. Hello, everyone. Are you all there? What covers the soul?
Mind.
Okay. Mind is one.
Senses and intelligence.
No. Intelligence, yes.
Material body.
No. Okay. We have material body. Okay. Let's say we die, right? The body, the material body is destroyed. So what remains?
Mind.
The soul covered by 3 elements. Remember the picture like an egg, right? Like a 3-layer. Mind,
Intelligent and false ego, I mean.
yes, forgotten. Level triple love is like you. Mind, intelligence, false ego. Because when we are pure spirit soul, if we were to go back to the spiritual, go back to Krishna, where we came from, we have to go back in our original form, which is the spirit soul. But what happens is when we die, we are going to carry our mind, intelligence, false ego to another body. That is called what body?
Subtle body.
Yeah, that is called subtle body. Okay, so to attain pure bhakti, we have to shed this subtle body. All right. So how to do this? We have to come to the Brahma Bhuta platform. Brahma Bhuta platform is something, a stage where we are fully joyful and fully peaceful. That is pure soul. The pure soul is Satchit Ananda. Sat means full of. Sat means eternal. Chit means full of knowledge. Ananda means full of bliss, fully happy. The soul is naturally very happy, but because of all the covering, we feel so distressed. Okay. All right. So these are all the criteria. This is a checklist. Okay. All right. What is this? Controlling the mind with determination, giving up the object of sense gratification, being free from attachment and hatred. So all these are the checklist that is required one to become self-realized person. So we can reflect and see which one we have with us. Boleh check, check, tick, 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 tick. Can we tick all of this? If we can tick all of this, then we are in Brahma Bhuta platform. We are free from reaction. All right. We are liberated and we can perform pure bhakti if we have all these qualities. Sounds very hard, isn't it? Okay. So let's move on and read this. Somebody?
Mataji,
Yes, can.
one who is thus transcendently situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed towards every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So a yogi, one who advances gradually this way, he will realize the Supreme Brahman and he will become fully joyful. He won't feel sad or he will not feel like wanting anything, and he'll be equal to everybody. In that stage, he will attain pure devotional service. So pure devotional service doesn't come easily. Okay, if you have all these qualities, it will come to you. All right. Okay, so when we are here, then we don't have to lament or desire to have anything because that is perfection by itself. Okay, such a stage can be achieved by the mercy of the Lord and his devotees. Okay, so that is possible. Okay, where jnana ends, bhakti begins. All this knowledge all culminate into understanding the Brahman, and then you will realize the nature of your pure soul and you will want to enjoy the devotional service, the pure devotional service. Okay, in that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. Okay, so how do we receive this pure devotional service is mentioned here. Can somebody read? This is not from Bhagavad Gita. This is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Can somebody read this?
I read, Mataji.
Okay.
Out of many millions of wandering living entities, one who is very fortunate gets an opportunity to associate with a bona fide spiritual master by the grace of Krishna. By the mercy of both Krishna and the spiritual master, such a person receives the seat of the creeper of devotional service.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So if the living entity by chance or fortune comes in contact with the Krishna conscious movement and wishes to associate with that movement, then Krishna, because he resides in everybody's heart as Paramatma, he will give him the chance to meet a bona fide spiritual master. This is called Guru Krishna Prasada. Guru Krishna Prasada. Prasada means mercy. Okay. Paya Bhakti Lada Beach. Beach means biji, means seed. Bhakti beach, the seed of bhakti, seed of devotion. So that person will come and plant that bhakti seed inside your heart. One tiny seed. Don't know when the person planted that seed into your heart, this birth or last birth or many births ago, that all of you are sitting here. So now what we are doing is we are watering that little seed inside your heart. We are watering, probably now sprouting already, because almost a year already you are sitting here. So it's sprouting. So you want to pour, keep pouring through hearing and chanting, so that it will bloom nicely, give you beautiful flowers and beautiful fruits. So this fruit you can enjoy. This fruit, yes, this is the fruit of Krishna consciousness. That is fine. So Krishna is prepared to bestow his mercy to all living entities. It's just waiting for us to turn to him and seek him. All right. And he, in our heart, he will know what he wants. Okay. So he, from inside, a person is helped by Krishna as Paramatma, and from outside, the teacher, the spiritual teacher, will help the person. Okay, so this is how the help comes, from within and without, from inside and outside. Okay, so this is very important. Yeah, how to advance by the mercy of both Krishna and spiritual master. This is very important point here. Okay. So next, Krishna is talking about how to understand Krishna. Can somebody read for us, please?
I'll read, Mataji.
Okay.
Oh,
It's okay, carry on.
okay. One can understand me as I am, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of me by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God.
Okay, so this is the way to attain Krishna, only by devotional service. Krishna never say Jnana Yoga or Karma Yoga, even though he spoke a lot about it. But ultimately, Krishna always comes back to this devotional service, because he knows this is the easiest for us. Okay, so you cannot be understood by mental speculation. Okay, it's only through devotional service. So this we have to be very convinced. Okay, this is the science of Krishna consciousness. One can understand me as I am. The true Krishna is understood by devotional service. Other than those things, that karma yoga, dhyana yoga, jnana yoga, yes, you can understand about Krishna. It will add meaning to the work that we do for Krishna. But to truly understand him, to feel him, you have to practice the devotion. Then you can feel him. Okay, it's like it's like having a child, right? You can love your niece or nephew, a baby born to others. You can give so much of love, all right? Or you can see, okay, one day I am going to love my child this way. You're going to keep saying that. But when you actually feel it, when you have a baby in your hand and you care for it, so that's how it is, theoretical and practical. So understanding is to do it practically. Okay, so many people see Krishna as many ways, right? So these are the other many varieties of ways people look at Krishna. Okay, they see him as an imaginary figure, okay, that created by an author like Harry Potter or Superman. Okay, so people think that he's a superhero. He kills some demons and he becomes heroic. Okay, he does that. All right, sometimes people think that he is a powerful diplomat or statesman, or he's a great politician, he's a great peace ambassador, he's a great king. This is how people look at Krishna. So these are the examples I'm giving how Krishna is viewed in different ways by different people. Okay, so some people are looking at him as a superhero, imaginary figure. Okay, some moral stories or some Marvel or DC, some things that never existed but is like a bedtime story, that kind of thing. So people viewed him like that. Other than that, as a politician. And then people see him as great social reformer. What does that mean? You remember how he actually defeated the demon Naraka? Not the Naraka, the Deepavali demon. This Naraka is another Asura. He kidnapped 16,000 princesses and kept in his capture. And Krishna went and saved them. And those days when ladies are captured by a man, then the society will not accept them, thinking that who will marry you, like that. So Krishna married all the 16,000 princesses, and he gave them, each one of them, a palace of their own. Okay, so he fought for women. Okay, he gave them status, and he made them queen. So he is seen as a reformer. All right. And another reformer aspect of Krishna is that even though he was a born prince, but he lived as a simple cowherd boy with his cowherd boy friends. And then how even after he became a king, the poor Sudama came, and Krishna actually sat down and washed his feet. All right, which king would do that? Usually the king would do that to great rishis and yogis who come to visit, but who will do that to a childhood friend, a classmate? So Krishna did that. So people will think, oh, he's such a great reformer, okay, or revolutionist, doing something out of the norm. So people view him that way. Or people can think this way too, that God is formless, and to come to earth to show some example to the mankind, the God takes a form. So Krishna view him that way. So there are many ways people view Krishna. Okay, and one famous aspect is they view Krishna as avatar of Vishnu. They deem Krishna as one of their 10 avatars. Okay, so we have in the past have gone through many Bhagavatam verses that Krishna is not an avatar, but he is a avatari. Avatari means he is the source of all incarnations. All right, only something that he is the supreme personality of Godhead. Okay, so is that I can't. Whose mic is that? Can somebody mute the mic? Whose mic? Guna Mataji is it? Okay, can I just stop for a while? Just stop for a while, okay? Yeah, okay, my file is corrupted. That's why it's not fully showing the things. Okay, so you have to make do with this. Because I put few things, it's not coming out. Excuse me for a while. Yeah, really, I don't know what happened. It's corrupted. I put nice things inside. Okay. So here I put two verses to from Bhagavatam to show that Krishna is not an incarnation, but is the source of incarnation. Okay. So let's have somebody to read this one, please. The English translation.
I'll read it.
Okay.
All of the above mentioned incarnations are either plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions of the Lord, but Lord Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. All of them appear on planets whenever there is a disturbance created by the
atheists.
The Lord incarnates to protect the theists.
Okay, thank you, Darshita. Okay, so all the avatars that we have seen and narrated before this, they are all either plenary portions. That means when they come, they do not come with the full potency of Krishna. They only take, they will Cute, yeah. So they only come with some qualities of the full form of Krishna, or some qualities of the some qualities. Understand? Plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions. So plenary portions already Sabhagyan, right? Portions of the plenary portion is Sabhagyan from the Sabhagyan. Okay, so that's how I want to translate that way. Okay, but when Krishna comes, he comes with his full 64 qualities, full everything. Heroism pun ada, parental love ada, loving ada, friendship ada, everything ada. So he performs everything. So for some avatarams, they do not display all the qualities, like Lord Narsingha. You cannot go and put hand on Lord Narsingha. You don't do that. You can't do that on Lord Varaha. You can't do that on with Lord Ram. You can't do that. And Lord Ram doesn't, it's just one wife, one husband, one wife, that way. And who else? And you can't even go near to Narsinghadev to make jokes, right? Nobody would want to do that. What else? And you can't fool around with Parasuram. You can't do that. All right, but with Krishna you can do that. So my internet is showing unstable, so just alert me if I'm lagging. Okay, so that's why when Krishna comes, he comes in his full force. Everything is full. Beauty is full, knowledge is full, heroism is full. Okay, he can play with boyfriends, he can play with girlfriends, father, mother, everything can. All right, and they all come when there is a disturbance in the planet created by the atheists. So generally, the Lord comes for 3 reasons. Who remembers the 3 reasons? Come, I'm not going to give any clue. You all should know already now. Please, please, please.
Reestablish. To reestablish
Principles of religion. Okay, that's great. Other 2?
To eliminate the pies to annihilate the miscreant. To
Okay.
what?
Annihilate the miscreants. Okay. What is the first one?
To re-establish Dharma.
Okay, that's the third one. Anybody remembers the verse? When Krishna has forgotten, like now lah. I think Krishna has to come now. Oh, Mataji, how you all can forget. Paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya cha duskritam dharma samsthapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Paritranaya sadhunam. Sadhu means pious souls. So does it ring a bell?
To what the pious and then
To what the pious, huh? To what the pious?
I forgot.
I'm not gonna let you all go today. Stay here and find the answer.
Krishna give us forgetful in our heart. Remember knowledge and forgetful.
Google.
to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants.
Yeah, to deliver, yeah.
To deliver the pious or protect the pious, and then to destroy the demons. I'm putting in a very simple word. Annihilate the miscreants is the right word. Re-establish the principles of religion. Okay. What verse number is that?
Four.
Rasini Mataji, I expect you to answer this. Come on.
4.7.
Okay. Can you read for me 4.6? Because there you have 2 reasons there. Nobody has Bhagavad Gita? Every time must bring Bhagavad Gita to class, isn't
Although
it?
I am.
Is it 4.6?
Yeah, 4.6.
Okay, 4.7 is?
4.7 is Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice,
Yes, read that, Mataji.
whenever and wherever there's a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself.
Okay, so what are the two reasons, Guna Mataji? Are you able to talk? Or Roja Mataji? From what Lata Mataji just read, what are the two reasons for Krishna to appear? Who paid attention when Mataji reads?
Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice.
Can you be louder, Mataji? Can't hear you. Kala Mataji, try that again.
Is it whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice?
Okay, one reason. And another reason?
And, predominant rise of religion, is it?
Yes, that's right. Generally, there are two reasons. Predominant rise of irreligion, okay, and decline in religious practice. That's two reasons. After that, 4.8, right, Lata Mataji?
This is 4.7, then 4.
Yeah, this is 4.7. And then 4.8 is the Paritranaya, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what are the three reasons again, Jay Mataji? Can try? The three reasons.
When we forgotten Krishna,
No, Paritranaya Sadhunam, that was.
Means to deliver.
Lata Mataji, can you read that sloka again, 4.8?
To deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principle of religion, I myself appear millennium after millennium.
Yes, very good. So this 4.7 and 4.8 explains why Krishna comes. Because Krishna does not. Okay. So of course, Krishna does not really have a reason to come, and he can actually kill the miscreants or save the pious souls from wherever he is. But sometimes he has to come to please, because that's the only way to please the devotees, right? The devotees want to see Krishna killing the demons, so that's why he comes. So this is an internal reason, all right? So externally, two reasons: drop in religious practices and rise in irreligious practices. Okay, another three reason is that deliver the pious soul, destroy the bad guys, okay, save the good guys, destroy the bad guys, and re-establish the religious practices. So this is why Krishna comes. So he comes to annihilate the disturbance created by the atheists and to protect the theists. Theists means pious souls. Okay, so see, we spend so much time here already, which is not in the plan. So please try to remember these important verses. Okay, how to understand Krishna in truth? How do you actually? Oh gosh, there were some pictures here. That's also gone. So there were a picture of a honey jar. Okay, how do you actually taste honey jar? Do you lick from the outside of the bottle, or you dip inside and take it out and then you taste it? You have to take it out and taste it. So that's how we understand Krishna, not by generally theoretically understanding him. Otherwise, it is just like licking the honey jar from outside. So if you want to understand Krishna, then you have to take the life of devotion under the guidance of a spiritual master. So now Krishna has given all the instruction already. Okay, sudah bintang kah? Kalau sudah bintang, please come back, because we're going to do the cool down now. Okay, so the cool down is this. Can we have somebody to read, please?
I'll go.
Okay.
The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. O scion of Bharata, surrender unto him utterly. By his grace, you will attain transcendental peace and the supreme and eternal abode. Thus, I have explained to you
knowledge still more confidential. Deliberate on this fully and then do what you wish to do. Okay. So you have your father and mother sitting with you saying, Sharmila, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. Okay, if you do this, you will get this. If you do this, you won't get pocket money. If you don't do this, you will do it, like that. So they keep giving you lots of instruction. Finally, they say, okay, do what you wish to do. Then Mataji also will be like, so happy now I can do whatever I want. All right. So this is a very famous verse when Krishna, after giving so many hundreds of verses of Bhagavad Gita, finally he asked Arjuna, now you wish what you want to do. Now you can do what you wish to do. So here, Krishna is being so kind that he is not dictating Arjuna, you must fight. He never say that. All right. Of course, he has given the pros and cons, this is duty and the solutions and everything. But he is still giving Arjuna the freedom. So a good boss always allow you to take your decision. Okay. So do what you wish to do. Okay, remember the, okay, that was an interesting picture here. Remember the matrix? Is that a matrix? You have the blue pill or red pill. I didn't watch the movie, but what was the red pill and blue pill about? Anybody knows? I never watched a single matrix movie, so I don't know. What was the red pill and blue pill? Anybody watched that movie? All the youths here, did you all watch the matrix? No, nobody watched Matrix. Okay, so we don't know what is the blue pill and red pill about. So it's about giving you the choice. But I saw the. What is that pill about, Mataji? The choice pills. What is it about? What he wants people to choose or something.
Mataji. It's a choice between the willingness to learn a potentially unsettling or life-changing truth by taking the red pill, or remaining in ignorance with the blue pill. So it's either ignorance or
knowledge.
Yeah.
So that is the actual two options that he gave in the movie, is it?
Yeah, according to the Google.
Oh, okay. Oh, very fast, Mataji. Wow, very technical, the question. Yeah, so Krishna gave, you want to fight or you don't want to fight? Red pill this, blue pill that, like that. Okay. So that's the choice that Krishna is giving. And then he's going to give one last instruction here, very confidential instruction. Very, very important. Can we have somebody to read?
Okay, I'll read, Mataji.
Okay.
Because you are my very dear friend, I am speaking to you my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this from me, for it is for your benefit.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So can you see this here? Paramam Vachaha. Paramam Vachaha means supreme instruction. So you have learned the entire Bhagavad Gita and now Krishna is saying, I am going to tell you something and this is my supreme instruction. So we will be like all years. Okay, the whole year you already learn about your say like SPMBM. But the last 2 days before the exam, right? The instructor say, I'm going to give you a very important instruction that's going to be very important, very crucial for your exam next week. So everybody full attendance come and all years buka besar-besar and they want to hear. So this is how they say supreme instruction. He has actually said this previously in chapter 9, text 34, but he used this word here, bhuyaha. If you open your Bhagavad Gita, whoever has, look at the bhuyaha translation. Who can do that quickly for us?
Again.
Oh, wow, very fast. Thank you, Mataji. Very good. Bhuyaha means again, which means he has already given this instruction earlier. Now he's giving it again. Okay. This is the most secret knowledge, greater than what he said in text 62. What was in 62? 62 is this. O sign of Bharata, surrender unto him utterly, which is the super soul. Here, Krishna is talking about a person must surrender to the Paramatma inside the heart. Now, greater than this is what Krishna is telling here. Okay, he say, This is for your benefit. And this is the most confidential knowledge. Okay, remember, he's saying this again, and he's saying this is the supreme instruction, and this is the most confidential knowledge, and this is for your benefit. So what is that secret? Can somebody read that secret for us?
I read, Mataji.
Okay.
Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend.
Okay, we're going to stay on this sloka for a while because it's very, very important. So look at this first line, Bhava Mad Bhakto. It means must be Krishna's devotee. Krishna says, become my devotee. Okay, Krishna excludes the other possibilities of thinking of him by being a jnani or any other dhyana yogi or karma yogi. No, through bhakta, devotion. Okay, which means one should serve Krishna by all senses through hearing, chanting, seeing his deity, cleaning temple, picking flowers. You are practically engaging your fingers and hands and legs, everything. All right. And then he said Matyaji. Matyaji means worship. Worshipping Krishna by offering him flowers, garlands, ornaments, incense, lamp, perfume, naivedya offering. All right. Umbrella, chamara. Okay. So all this Matyaji. Next is Mam Namaskuru. Namas means obeisance. Okay. Mam Namaskuru means to fall on the ground with the whole body, offer respects to Krishna by touching the floor with all the parts of your body. So that is Mam Namaskuru. Mam means to me. All right, pay obeisance to me. Madhyaji, Mam Namaskuru. Next is Mam Eva Ishyasi. Mam Eva Ishyasi means doing all the one or all the above activities, you can attain me. Okay, and Satyam Te. Satyam Te means Satyam. Satyam means, what is Satyam?
Truth. Promise.
Satyam. Satyam. Making Satyam. What is that?
Promise.
Promise.
Yes, promise. Krishna makes an oath. Maka kami, like that. Krishna is saying, Satyam Te, my word. I'm giving you my word. This is my oath that I will give myself to you. This is the promise that Krishna is saying. Pratijani priyosime. Priyosime means, I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. Priyo means dear. Okay, so this instruction is not only for Arjuna, it's for all of us. Krishna makes an oath. Now remember, I will give myself to you. Do one or all of this. You can attain Krishna. And then very famous and important verse, 18.66. Always try to remember this. What is Krishna saying here? And this is the ultimate conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. Can have somebody to do the honor for us, please? Read this sloka.
Okay, Mataji.
Okay. Who's that? We got one more after this.
Okay. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear.
Okay, thank you. So, Sarva Dharmam Parityaja. Sarva Dharman. Sarva, all. Dharman, all paths. Surrender, let go. Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. With to me alone, you come and surrender. Mam Ekam. Mam means me. Ekam means one. To me alone. Saranam Vraja. Surrender unto me. Okay. Moksha Yisyami Ma Suchaha. Ma Suchaha means I will give you deliverance. Do not worry. Do not fear. Ma Suchaha. Okay. No fear. The no fear came from here. Do not fear. So everybody want to use Krishna's words, right? Do not fear. Okay, so basically Krishna is saying, give up all your duties, all varieties of religion. Your only duty is to exclusively surrender unto me. So these material reactions will not touch you. Do not hesitate. Do not fear. Okay, so this is a ultimate ultimate teaching of Bhagavad Gita. So there is one commentary book. Even the book says this, surrender unto me. This book is about overview of Bhagavad Gita, and the title is surrender unto me. Okay, so if anybody asks you what is the end result of Bhagavad Gita, that Krishna is asking us to surrender unto him. That is it, surrender unto me. And how you do that? You do this way. Think of me, become my devotee, worship me, offer your homage to me, you will come to me, and this is what Krishna is promising. Okay, essence of Bhagavad Gita, just surrender unto me. Okay, so in this process, right, in the surrendering process, we are to follow these elements, these items. Can we have somebody to read this, please? Oh, then there's another sloka, I think.
Okay, Mataji, I read.
Oh, okay.
In the surrendering process, one should, number one, accept things favorable for discharging devotional service. Number two, reject things unfavorable. Number three, always believe firmly in Lord's protection. Number four, feel exclusively dependent on the mercy of the Lord. Number five, have no interest separate from the interest of Lord. And final, always feel oneself meek and humble.
Okay, very good. So this one is from Nectar of Instruction. Okay, not instruction, Nectar of Instruction. I'm not sure where, but this is from the purport. Okay, so about accepting things that are favorable is like always remain in the company of devotees. Okay, so we speak the alike things. Okay, eating prasadam, waking up early morning, all those things. Reject things that are unfavorable, like not to waste too much time on mobile, newspaper, TV, video games, and avoiding meat eating. So this all rejects things that are unfavorable. So we have to adjust according to our level and detach ourselves from this unfavorable circle. Okay, so when we advance, then we can take our vows of following the 4 regulatory principles. Okay, no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex. All right. Next is number 3, always believe firmly in Lord's protection. Of course, Krishna says, do not fear. Feel exclusively dependent on the mercy of the Lord. Okay, have no interest separate from the Lord, and always feel meek and humble. Okay, so it's very difficult, but it's always possible with practice and detachment. Remember, Krishna gave this solution to Arjuna. So this is how you can become pure devotee. Okay, and this is glories about preaching and studying of Bhagavad Gita. The benefit offers sharing this knowledge to people. Okay, can we have somebody to read this?
Mataji?
Yes, can Mataji.
For one who explains this supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end, he will come back to me. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear.
Right, so a person who shares about the knowledge about Bhagavad Gita is guaranteed to get the pure bhakti that I was talking about. Like now we are doing bhakti in practice. Okay, the next step is to get the pure bhakti. So Krishna is saying, when you share the knowledge about Bhagavad Gita, you will guarantee to get the pure bhakti, which actually can take us to the spiritual world, back to him. All right, at the end, he will come back to me, and there is no servant dear to me, and there will never be one more dear. Right, this is what Krishna is saying. Okay, so now remember, Krishna asked Arjuna, now you do what you want to do. What is your choice? It's your choice. The ball is in your court. You know, all those things we can say. All right, so now Arjuna is replying Krishna. Can we have somebody to tell us what Arjuna said to Krishna at the end? Did Arjuna say, okay, since you say it's my choice, I still want to go back and renounce. I don't want to kill my relatives. Did he say that? So what he said? Darshita, are you there? Anybody can read?
Yes, Mataji. Darshita not here, but Naman, I will read Mataji.
Okay.
Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy. I am now firm and free from doubt and am prepared to act according to your instruction.
Very good. Okay, so thank you, Mataji. So basically, Arjuna is saying, now my illusion is gone. Because if Arjuna is still gonna say, no, I'm gonna take, since you given the ball in my court, so it's my choice. I want to go to mountain and cave and renounce life. That means he's still under illusion. Then Arjuna is declaring that his illusion is gone. All the 5 reasons that he gave earlier has been addressed by Krishna. Who remembers that 5 reasons that Arjuna gave in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita? What is the short form? That's D. So who remembers that? What is C?
Compassion.
Compassion to the relatives and friends and relatives. E? No enjoyment even if you become?
Even if he wins the.
Correct. Okay. C, E, S. What is S? Fear of sinful reactions due to the killing. D?
Destruction of
Family
family
tradition.
Destruction of family tradition, because when they were fighting in the war, definitely the male of the leader of the family will die and the woman will become unprotected and the sons will not carry on family tradition. So that is destruction of family tradition. The final one, I?
Indecisive.
Indecisive. What is indecisive? What indecision that is referring to?
You don't know what to do.
He doesn't know what to do, whether to fight or don't know to whether to fight or not to fight. So that was all his reason. That were his illusion. Now Krishna has cleared it, and Arjuna clearly said that I will act according to your instruction, which is surrender unto him and carry out the duties, because the reaction of that killing in the war will not affect Arjuna. Because why it will not affect Arjuna? Now you're going to use all the knowledge that you have learned so far. Please share with me. Why do you think the reaction of the killing will not affect Arjuna?
Because he is performing the duty as described.
Yes. Okay, prescribed by?
Krishna.
Krishna, what else? How about relating to the occupational work?
As a Satriya, he should just do what he's supposed to do.
Correct. So that is your duty. If your duty is an auditor, then you have to pick up the flaw that even your friend has committed. You cannot give in the sentiment value that, oh, if I, whistle blow this person, what will happen to his rice bowl? What will happen to his wife? What will happen to his children? No, because ultimately it will come back to you. Okay, this is very true. Yeah, I know somebody who did not want to raise finding on somebody because he's worried about his rice bowl of this person. Finally, this person lost the job when the mistakes all were highlighted by somebody else. His job is gone. Other people's job is gone. All are gone. So might as well you just do your duty and highlight what is required. Right? So this is so true. Just do your duty. Don't give in to the compassion or the sentimentalism because you want to save others. No, it's better that you highlight it much, much earlier, so that probably it will be, finished with just warning or what, instead of becoming like so big like that. So it's very true. Always do our duty. Okay. All right. So don't worry. If it's part of your job, then you have to do it. Okay. So that's it. And what else? Arjuna is firmly fixed. And a final sloka by Sanjaya as a closure. Okay. Can we have somebody to read this?
Me. Wherever there is Krishna, the master
Yeah. I'll read, Mataji.
I think Sharbila Mataji is reading.
Oh, she's reading. I can't
yeah,
hear.
can't hear Mataji. Yeah, Sharbila Mataji, can you speak louder?
Okay. Wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. That is my opinion.
All right. Thank you, Mataji. So what other things will be there? Opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. Yeah, so it is not an immoral thing to go kill people. No, okay, morality. Opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. Okay, so look at that. This is the final objective, surrender unto me. Okay. All right, so that's about it.
Pictures.
We just started, Mataji. I also don't know what happened. I also want to cry. I don't know what happened. I need to go back and check. I hope I didn't lose it. Okay, so any questions, everyone?
When is the next class, Mataji?
Wait, okay. We are working on some Ramayana Katha slides because next week Sunday is Ramayana, Ramanavami. So we are working on it. If I get the slides by tomorrow morning, I can still prepare and have a class tomorrow evening. If not, we will meet level 3, but before level 3 we will have one class on overview of Srimad Bhagavatam. So I have that slide. It's just that I was thinking of giving you guys some break and just stay tuned, Mataji. I so not sure how to go about it. So about level 3, right? So all of you in now currently attending this class now, all of you are interested to proceed to level 3?
Yes, Mataji.
Why everybody off the video lah? Last day was on the video, like it doesn't matter if you're wearing strap, whatever. So yeah, just stop.
Wearing pajamas.